percentages are used for discounts and markups. For discounts, we always want to make sure that we subtract the percentage from 100 in the NCO chart. For markups, we always want to make sure that we add the percentage to 100 in the NCO chart. What we're going to do now is use that new change original method to set up a proportion to respond to the examples that you will have in this lesson. Keep in mind that the N stands for new, the C stands for change, and the O stands for original. If you recall, percents are based out of a 100. They are comparison or a ratio to 100, so we can always write that 100 on the percent side without reading the problem. Now, whenever we're given anything associated with a markup, we're going to add that number to 100. When we're given anything associated with a discount, we're going to subtract that number from 100. That will give us the new percent that we will work with in our problem. Now you can see that we have the entire right side of our NCO chart filled up. To determine where the variable is going to go, it's going to depend on what you're asked to find. If you're asked to find the original number or price, the variable will go to the left of the O on our number side of our NCO chart. If you're asked to find the new number, then your variable will go to the left of the N. Whenever you're asked to find the change, the best way to do this part is to subtract your original and new number. Keep in mind, you always want to do the big number minus the small. Now, there are other ways to find the amount of the change, but the reason why I'm having you do it this way is so you only have to remember one way to use the NCO chart for these types of percent applications. So, the row that we will cross out, if you always do it this way, is going to be the center row. However, like I said, if you want to further look into another way you could find the amount of the change, that in essence would make you have to cross out a different row. So what we're going to do now is look at 6 different examples, and we're going to be finding different parts depending on what the problem asks us to do. In the first example, we are asked to find the new price. Once again, we know we can always start with the 100 on the right side of our NCO chart because percents are out of 100. We are given a discount of 15%. Remember, in math, discounts are represented by subtraction. So, we're going to subtract 15 from 100, and that will give us the new percent that we work with, which will be 85. Next, you see that we are given the original price. The original price is $42. So that 42 is going to go to the left of the O on the number side of our NCO template. We are asked to find the new price, so our variable, remember you can use any letter that you want, is going to go to the left of the N. If you look, our goal is still the same as before. We are always trying to find the row that does not have something on each side. In this case, it is the row that is represented by the change. So that is the row that we will cross out. The other 2 rows have something on each side, and that gives us our resulting proportion. N over 42 equals 85 over 100. We use cross products to multiply, which will give us 100N equals 3,570. Divide both sides by 100, and our answer is $35.70. Remember, we have to label our answer, and we're working with money. In addition, when using a calculator, in the calculator it's going to come up as 35.7. We must remember that we represent our money correctly, so that 0 must be placed on the end of our answer. In example 2, once again, we always start with that 100 on the percent side, which is the right side of our NCO chart. This time we have a markup of 10%. Markups always add to our price, so when we add 100 plus 10, we get 110. Our original price is $120, so that's going to go on the left side of our O. Once again, we're asked to find the new price. So our variable, remember you can use any letter. I just like to use the letter N for new. It's going to go to the left of our N. And once again, if you notice, that middle row where the C is the row that doesn't have something on both sides. So that is the row that we cross out. Our resulting proportion is N over 120 equals 110 over 100. We use cross products to multiply. 100 times N is 100N. 110 times 120 is 13,200. Divide both sides by 100, and your answer is $132 for the new price. In example 3, we are asked to find the original price. We're still going to start the same way, so we will start with that 100 on the right side of the percent sign, and then we are given a 20% discount, so we are going to subtract 20 from 100, and that gives us 80 for our new percent. Now, we are asked to find the original price, so that is where our variable is going to go. We were given the new price of $25. If you look, the row that does not have anything on each side is the C row, the change row, so that is the row that we cross out. Our resulting proportion is 25 over X equals 80 over 100. When we cross multiply 80 times X, it's going to give us 80X, and 25 times 100 is 2,500. Divide both sides by 80, and our resulting answer is $31.25. In example 4, we are asked to find the original price once again. So we start with that 100 on the right side of our NCO chart because that side represents the percent side. We have a markup of 45%, so we're going to add 45 to 100. 100 plus 45 gives us 145. Once again, we're asked to find the original price, so our variable is going to go to the left of the O. We are given a new price of $87, so our 87 will go next to the N on the left side of it. And that middle row is the row that does not have something on each side, so we're going to cross that out. And our resulting proportion is 87 over X equals 145 over 100. When we cross multiply, 145X equals 87 over 100. 87 times 100. 145X equals 8,700. Divide both sides by 145, and your answer is $60. In example 5, we are now asked to find the amount of the discount. So we're going to start off the exact same way. We're going to start with that 100 on the right side of our percent NCO chart. And since it's a discount, we're subtracting 24 from 100, and our answer is going to be 76. We are given the new price. We're still going to find the original first. So our variable will go to the left side of the O because we're going to find the original, and we were given the new price of $38. So if we look once again, that middle row is still the row that we don't have something on both sides. Our resulting proportion is 38 over X equals 76 over 100. 76 times X is 76X, and 38 times 100 is 3,800. To solve this simple one-step multiplication equation, we divide both sides by the number next to X, which is 76, and we're going to get X is $50. Now, that $50 represents our original price. We are asked to find the amount of the discount. So if you remember in that summary that I gave you of how to use the NCO chart, we have to subtract that 50 and 38 to see how much the discount was. So the amount of the discount is going to be 50 minus 38, which is $12. In the final example, we have to find the markup, but we're basically going to do it the same way as example 5. Now in example 5, we were given the new price. This time we're given the original price, but in the end we'll do it the same way. So we start with that 100 on the right side of our percent NCO chart. It's a markup, so we're going to add 64. And when we add 100 plus 64, we get 164. Our original price is $125, so we want to find the new price. That is where our variable will go. Now, the center row where that C is the row where we don't have something on both sides, so our resulting proportion is x over 125 equals 164 over 100. We're going to use cross products to solve. 100 times x is 100x. 125 times 164 is 20,500. Divide both sides by 100. We're going to get $205. So that tells us what the new price is. Now, in order for us to find the amount of the markup, we're once again going to have to subtract the new and the original. So the amount of the markup is 205 minus 125, which will be $80. So I would like to conclude by summarizing how we use the NCO chart for these types of examples. We start with that 100 in the denominator. We're going to add to 100 for markup, subtract from 100 for discounts, and get the new percent. Place the variable to the left of the O if you're trying to find the original price. It'll go to the left of the N if you're trying to find the new price. You're going to subtract to find the amount of the discount or markup if you're asked to find that. And then the row that we cross out will depend on where our information is missing. And that concludes the lesson on percent application.